We have Deven Choksey, MD of K R Choksey Securities, now joining us on the phone line. Deven, the Sensex and the Nifty have moved up well today with gains of 0.25%. It's expiry today. Looking at the data, the rollover data coming in, where do you see expiry today?
Yeah, good morning. Well, I think the expiry should be somewhere in the region of 9200 level. So certainly, I think that's given. What is more important is in the market today, we are seeing a larger amount of actions coming into individual stocks, which are driven under some of the banking names, driven under some of the metal names or auto names, where I think the market is relatively more comfortable taking the position. So, do believe that it will be a selective stock, I think, which would be driving the market hereafter and probably continue to do so in the month of April and May.
All right. Do you think the bias of the market into the next series may be positive, or could there be some profit taking because of the earnings coming through and the worry that the fourth quarter earnings, at least a few sectors, will bear the demonetization impact?
Well, I think would like to believe that the market would continue to look at the earning growth in this quarter. We are expecting somewhere in the vicinity of 20% kind of earning growth continuing. And as a result of which, I think the individual stocks who are surpassing this earning growth of the market, I think would be in most demand or preference. At the same time, they're looking at the new funds which are coming into the market. I believe that there would be a scarcity premium which would get created on good quality stocks. So certainly you might see some of the companies with a relatively higher valuation also continuing in this particular part of journey in the market. But all in all, I think it would be more of a stock-specific market where you would see the merit-driven stories or themes which would work well for the market and the investors.
All right. So talking of specific stocks, a day earlier, the Supreme Court ruled that no BS3 vehicles will be sold from April 1 this year. How would you then view some of the auto stocks like Hero, which has large stock of BS3 vehicles, or some of the commercial vehicle makers that may also have stocks of BS3 vehicles?
So there may be some situation of disruption in next 1 month or so, wherein I think some of the companies within the auto space might see some amount of low sale or inventory clearance sale, as you may want to call it as. I think many of the companies would end up exporting the vehicles which they have already produced under BS3 norms. So that is what is understanding coming out. It is going to be some amount of pain for many of the companies because it's not a small inventory in the pipeline. It could have its own challenge. My reading says that I think you go beyond that 1 month and probably you will find that the companies would be in a far better position to record good performance going forward. So I think any correcting fall or downsides which may come into the market due to this reason, I think would be a buy opportunity into auto stocks.
Right. You don't see some of the stocks seeing a hit on bottom line because of any inventory write-off?
Immediately, I don't see that as a possibility because most of the companies are geared up for exporting out their vehicles. So, yes, I think there may be a situation of higher inventory, there may be a situation of stress working capital, receivables, etc. But I don't think that beyond that, I think one should be counting loss or something. At this point of time, it is not seen incurring loss for the company.
Right. Do you think the markets will be watching the GST implementation very closely, or has the market factored that positive already in?
So I think to a greater extent, market is clear that GST implementation is going to be beneficiary. And I think now the real eyes would be on how the implementation takes place. If implementation is really smooth and from 1st July as they are promising, it start the actual rollout, then I think overall there would be a positive view on the individual companies and market would remain clear about this aspect going forward as well.
All right. So for the GST now, do you think the next critical piece will be what will be the tax rate for each individual sector or for different products? how would you look at the sectors that are poised to gain from the GST?
So I think as we understand, it is going to be an overall benefit across the board. However, I think there will be some immediate benefits coming into the individual companies, at least in the near future. That could mean that companies which are basically asking for efficiency-led operations in selling of their goods and services, they would probably be in a better time. For example, I think many of the companies are today compulsorily required to keep their depots in different states just for the sake of managing the taxation aspect from those respective states. Now, with one tax coming into across the country, they may not be required to keep those many number of depots and in turn store so much of inventory. So ultimately, it would result into higher amount of working capital efficiency related gains coming into the company. Now, this situation is possible, according to me, over a period of time. It's not going to be happening tomorrow or day after. But I think next 6 months to 12 months time, you should be seeing the resultant impact coming into the books of the company. So stay tuned for longer period. So in the shorter term, I think you might see some green shoots coming out on this particular implementation of GST.
What are the stocks that you are positive on because of the GST implementation?
Honestly, wouldn't give much of a weightage because of the GST implementation. Because as I said, that overall gain coming across to the companies would be in form of the better management of working capital hereafter. And I think individual companies may or may not immediately, I think, get the recognition of this particular fact. So you cannot put the names because of the GST implementation into some companies. I would rather think that let us look at holistically this entire move and see how exactly the companies are gearing themselves up for better times going forward.